Okay, it is now 4:04 p.m. We apologize for the delay. There were some technical difficulties getting set up this afternoon, but we will proceed, and I invite everybody to please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. The flag. This meeting is called to order as of 4:04 p.m. Next, we'll make a consideration of minutes from our September 22nd meeting, but I'd like to make a couple of changes on those before we make any else that has any changes, but I left them. Under other business, the 4 talking points, items 2 and 4, I would put in parentheses next to each of those, not allowed, specified in the meeting. Those were not allowed. I'm sorry, under other business, under the 4 talking points, items 2 and 4, at the end of each of those, I would like to put not allowed in parentheses.
Oh, not allowed. Okay.
In other words, just signifying that we did not address those. Thank you. So with those changes, gentlemen, I'll entertain a motion for the minutes of September 22nd as amended, or unless you further wish to amend.
Those changes.
Okay, motion made by Commissioner O'Brien.
I second it.
Okay, seconded by Commissioner O'Brien. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and I apologize for getting ahead of myself. Would like to introduce, for those that may be watching, either here in the Great Hall or on community television. On the camera's left, we have our Executive Secretary, Sherry Moore. Next, we have to my right, camera's left, Commissioner Sean Coop. I am Chairman Steve Wood. Commissioner Bob O'Brien, Chief Rondo, and Captain Livy of the Police Department. As we did last month, we're going to postpone briefly our normal activity report from the Chief and move forward with some more pertinent business. I will preface what is going to be a summary of findings with some remarks. For those of you that may have watched this, our meeting rather, on September 22nd, we had Ms. Jessica Williams, a Wolfeboro resident and business owner, address the Wolfeboro Police Commission in our public session about the events that occurred at the September 13th Governor Wentworth Regional School District meeting. Ms. Williams read a prepared statement to the Commission and expressed her opinions on the school district mask policy and her assertions that the school board has no legal authority to enforce said policy. She also made some very serious allegations against Chief Rondo for actions taken by he and other officers assigned to work a detail at that school board meeting. Although Ms. Williams spoke with clarity and conviction, the Commission found her statement to contain misinformation, disinformation, and a misrepresentation of fact. However, due to the seriousness of the allegations made by Ms. Williams, the Police Commission opened up an internal affairs investigation on Chief Dean Rondo. This afternoon, we release our findings in this matter. But first, I'd like to briefly explain our process. All requisite documentation and video that was deemed pertinent to the investigation was gathered if it was available and obtained. Note, I personally visited the office of Ms. Williams on September 23rd and advised her of the investigation and provided her with the necessary internal affairs investigation forms to be completed detailing her allegations, and as of today, nothing has been received. More will be detailed in the release of our findings. All written and video documentation was copied and provided to each of the 3 police commissioners for their personal review prior to in-person non-public work sessions. After reviewing all of the information gathered for review on our own time, the Commission met together on October 13th and again on October 20th in non-public session to discuss the investigation and its merits. The investigation was closed on October 30th, and we will make the results of our investigation public as they are read into the minutes of this afternoon's meeting. Please understand that as I read the summary of our findings, I will address myself in the third person, as it is how the summary reads, as it is a record of the investigation. At this time, I will entertain a motion from the Commission to accept and read into the record the document titled Wolfeboro Police Commission Internal Affairs Investigation of Chief Rondo, which is dated September 23rd, 2021 to October 20th, 2021.
I will make that motion.
Motion has been made by Commissioner O'Brien.
I second it.
Seconded by Commissioner Coop. I'd like to take a roll call vote on this particular item. Commissioner O'Brien?
Yes.
Commissioner Coop?
Yes.
And Commissioner Wood is yes also. I will warn you that this is going to take about 10 minutes, but we feel that it's very important in transparency. Introduction. On Wednesday, September 14th, 2021, Police Commission Chairman Stephen Wood was advised by Chief Dean Rondo that Ms. Jessica Williams may wish to attend the upcoming September 22, 2021 Police Commission meeting and discuss the events that had transpired at the September 13th, 2021 meeting of the Governor Wentworth Regional School District School Board. Chief Rondo also advised Commissioner Wood that Ms. Williams had asked him to drop the charges levied against those who had been issued hand summonses for their actions at the school board meeting on September 13th. He had denied that request. On September 15th, Commissioner Wood stopped by Ms. Williams' office to speak with her, and meeting her for the very first time, he introduced himself and asked if she wished to address the Commission at the September 22nd Police Commission meeting, to which she replied in the affirmative. Commissioner Wood then explained the two ways that one can address the Commission: during the public input segment or by requesting to be placed on the meeting agenda, the latter requiring the talking points to be submitted with a request. That way the Commission can be prepared to answer any questions related to those points. During this interaction, Ms. Williams asked Commissioner Wood if the Commission could ask the Chief to drop the charges, to which he replied, "We cannot and will not do that, as it is an active case." At the Wolfeboro Police Commission regularly scheduled meeting held on September 22nd, Ms. Williams approached Chairman Steve Wood prior to the start of the meeting, who was seated at a table with Commissioners Robert O'Brien and Sean Coop, and asked for a copy of the meeting agenda. She was provided with a copy, and Chairman Wood at that time advised Ms. Williams that the Commission cannot speak to two of her four talking points that she had listed. The first being the Governor Wentworth Regional School District mask policy, as the Commission has no standing on the policy, and the charges/arrest, which were her words, of members of the public at a public meeting. Ms. Williams replied that she did not want the Commission to speak, but only to listen. Chairman Wood then advised her that she would then have 5 minutes, to which she said it would not be enough. Chairman Wood asked how much time she thought she would need, and Ms. Williams asked for 10 minutes, which she was granted. When it was time for Ms. Williams to speak, Chairman Wood cautioned her once she was at the microphone to be careful not to say anything self-incriminating due to the ongoing investigation into the events of September 13th, 2021. During Ms. Williams' statement to the Police Commission, she made several complaints against Chief Rondo for actions that he took at the September 13th school board meeting. Specifically, Chief Rondo, who was assigned as the detail officer at the school board's meeting, cited 5 persons who were not in compliance with the school board's policy or rule of not wearing a proper mask as defined in the Governor Wentworth Regional School District Stay Open Plan. During that meeting, approximately 15 to 20 people were in attendance and refused to wear masks, claiming that the school board's authority does not extend over them as members of the public attending a constitutionally protected activity, such as a public school board meeting. Furthermore, they claim they are members of the public and are not visitors to the school board's meeting. The basis for this idea comes from RSA 189:15, which says, "The school board may, unless otherwise provided by statute or state regulations, prescribe regulations for attendance upon and for the management, classification, and discipline of the schools, and such regulations, when recorded in the official records of the school board, shall be binding upon pupils and teachers." Again, on September 22nd, Ms. Williams read from a prepared statement. In that prepared statement, she made several troubling allegations against Chief Rondo and asked the Commission to remove him, presumably without due process, under RSA 105-C:4, the chapter of the New Hampshire RSAs which allow police officers and chiefs to be removed for just cause only. Because troubling allegations were made by Ms. Williams against the chief, the Commission took this matter very seriously. On September 23, 2021, Commission Chairman Stephen Wood met with Ms. Williams in her 29 Union Street office once again, advised her that the Police Commission would in fact be looking into her allegations against the chief, handed her the department's internal affairs complaint forms, asked her to complete them and list in writing the specific allegations and violations of law allegedly committed by Chief Rondo. This was necessary so that the Commission could more thoroughly review and thoroughly investigate her complaints against the chief. Ms. Williams asked if others could complete the form as well, to which Chairman Wood replied only she should complete the form, but she may attach statements from others along with anything she deemed pertinent to the investigation. Ms. Williams then asked if she could attach video, and Chairman Wood replied that that video would be acceptable. Again, to date, nothing has been returned to the Commission. The allegations. As near as the Commission can tell at this point, the following are the allegations and violations of law committed by the chief based on Ms. Williams' oral statements to the Commission. A, conspiracy with the school board or SAU 49 superintendent to violate constitutional rights. B, abuse of authority under color of law, which is federal law, Section 242, Title 18 of the United States Code, which is a civil rights violation. And C, enforcement actions that were unconstitutional. Chief's actions. The school board meeting of September 13th was both recorded and televised. In summary, it shows approximately 15 to 20 people in front of the Kingswood Arts Center stage, sitting in front of the school board, purposely not wearing masks or face coverings, as defined in the Governor Wentworth Regional School District's Stay Open Plan. The video shows a dialogue continuing with the chairperson of SAU 49 School Board, Mr. Jack Widmer, in conversation with members of the public, telling them that masks are required and that he was not going to call the meeting to order until they either went into room 113, where the district had set up reasonable accommodations where citizens could participate in the meeting while not wearing masks, leave the auditorium, or be found in criminal trespass. In the video, at approximately the 20-minute mark, we see Chief Rondo get up and address the chair. At this point, the chief asked the chair if the attendees not wearing masks are in violation of the school board's rules and are now trespassing. The chair responds in the affirmative to the chief's question. Chief Rondo makes a statement of this to the audience. The chief makes one last attempt to inform the citizens of what is about to happen if they don't follow and comply with the rule of the school board while attending their meeting. A few more minutes transpire, and there's more dialogue between the public and the school board chair. Shortly after that dialogue concludes, and to move the meeting along, Chief Rondo and Officer Ben Church begin to issue summonses in lieu of arrest. This action breaks the stalemate that had ensued, and five citizens, including Ms. Williams, are cited for criminal trespass and obstructing government operation. The meeting is delayed for approximately 50 minutes from the time the unmasked individuals first entered the auditorium until the last summons is written and handed to Ms. Jessica Williams. The actions of the Police Commission. The Police Commission, in its civilian review board capacity and acting as the supervisor of the Chief of Police, is duty-bound, and as the ultimate hiring and firing authority of the Wolfeboro Police Department, was compelled to investigate these allegations, as it is our duty. On September 23rd, as previously mentioned in this report, Chairman Stephen Wood met with Ms. Williams and handed her various Wolfeboro Police internal affairs complaint forms and asked that she fill these forms out. The purpose of this is to accurately address and detail her complaints and have them reduced to writing so that the Commission, as a group, can discuss and investigate each complaint, specified or implied. Incidentally, as of today's date, October 27th, 2021, no written or any other form of communication from Ms. Williams has been received. Additionally, the Commission reviewed the September 13th school board meeting video and the September 22nd Police Commission video. We have reviewed the very detailed investigative reports submitted by Chief Dean Rondo, Officers Jacob Boucher and Ben Church regarding the summons in lieu of arrest incident at the September 13th school board meeting and the subsequent 5 summonses issued to the separate defendants. The Commission also reviewed all the applicable laws, rules, and regulations of the Governor Wentworth Regional School District, authorities made available to it, and the statutory authority granted to school boards, RSA 189, and school administrative districts, RSA 194. The Police Commission also reviewed the memorandum of law dated 22 September 2021, outlined by Attorney Barbara Lohman, the SAU 49 School District Attorney, as well as the August 17, 2021 minutes of the SAU 49 School Board meeting where they adopted the district's stay open policy. In terms of laws, we refreshed ourselves with the criminal trespass, disorderly conduct, and obstruction of government operations RSAs. Specifically, RSAs 635:2, 644:2, and 642:1, along with RSA 189, RSA 194, various State Board of Education rules and regulations, RSA 281-A:64, safety provisions and administrative penalty, the workers' compensation statute, RSA 40, specifically RSAs 40:7 and 8. The Commission also reviewed Federal Code Section 242, Title 18, deprivation of rights under color of law, civil rights violation, and RSA 105-C:4, removal of police officers, and its legal standard, just cause. The analysis. Ms. Williams opines in her statements, if we understand her correctly, and we surmise that the school board does not exercise any authority over her and other members of the public attending a school board meeting in a public venue because they are taking part in a constitutionally protected activity. This logic is based in part of her analysis of RSA 189:15 as previously discussed. The Commission agrees with her that RSA 189 does not fully address the school board's authority in this matter. However, Ms. Williams totally ignores other RSAs and the State Board of Education rules which do apply in this matter. Specifically, RSA 194-C:4, paragraph J, specifically in dealing with citizens at large. Also, RSA 281-A:64, safety provisions, administrative penalty applies too. State Board of Education administrative rules also apply. The Commission finds Ms. Williams' argument in this regard lacking in a fallacy of logic that only one RSA applies to school boards to the exclusion of all others, and that no rules or administrative guidelines, policy, or procedures would apply in this matter or to the public at large. The Wolfeboro Police Commission, in its research, has learned that school boards in the state of New Hampshire are indeed rulemaking boards and can make and set policy for the governance of their respective meetings, and along with that authority, the governance of their faculty, staff, students, and the citizens at large is defined in RSA 194-C:4, who are attending their functions and at public meetings in order to maintain the order therein. Whereas the Wolfeboro Police Commission encourages public discourse at public meetings, and it recognizes the public rights at public meetings, the rights of the citizens to redress their grievances in front of their elected officials, these rights are not always absolute. For example, they must comply with the board's rules, even if they don't like or agree with them. The school board members are elected officials representing approximately 18,000 citizens within the district. No right exists to obstruct or delay a public meeting. The Commission reviewed Ms. Williams' verbal civil rights complaint, specifically her allegation that the chief violated Section 242, Title 18 of the United States Code. This is a serious allegation, and one of which is normally investigated by the FBI. The Commission disagrees with Ms. Williams. When reviewing the chief's actions, we can find no evidence, probable cause, or even a preponderance of evidence that he violated any federal or state law in this regard. Rather, the Commission found his actions to be the most conservative and that he issues or had cause to be issued 5 summonses in lieu of arrest, an action very much like issuing a speeding ticket. The Commission recognized that though 5 citizens were issued notices to appear in court, no one was processed, handcuffed, pulled out of their seats, or anything of the sort. In fact, at no time were any citizens threatened with arrest, placed under arrest, or read their Miranda rights as required by law if arrested. No one was deprived of their constitutional rights. As Ms. Williams stated in her address to the Police Commission on September 22nd, laws are made of words, and words matter, and indeed they do. Moreover, the commission noted that the chief and Officer Church were calm and relaxed and allowed people to wander about, leave the room before receiving a summons, and simply talk to each other. In fact, at no time does Chief Rondo or Officer Church detain anyone by the most liberal of definitions. In fact, Chief Rondo asked a question, "Who wants a summons?" like he's giving them away. Incidentally, we noticed that Ms. Williams was the very last to receive a summons from Officer Church. We can't help but think she had every opportunity to simply walk away or to walk out of the room, but stayed to receive a summons, almost like she invited it, and this can be seen in the video. Lastly, the commission looked at the conspiracy allegation, RSA 629, another very serious allegation. The commission holds the chief accountable for the long, medium, and short-term planning for the department. Additionally, the commission expects that the chief, through his officers, will keep the peace to the laws of the state of New Hampshire and the United States. More to the point, the chief and his captain had been aware of a brewing situation at the school board's meetings for the last year or more over their approaches to the COVID-19 viral threat that the board was enacting. According to Chief Rondo, he spoke with SAU 49 superintendent on a wide range of issues over the last year. In a discussion prior to the September 13th, 2021 school board meeting, the chief argued for a separate area inside of the auditorium for the non-mask wearers. He felt this was a better alternative than that of room 113, but the SAU 49 superintendent felt otherwise. The chief and Kathy Cuddy-Egbert, the SAU 49 superintendent, spoke about the process of how the meeting should proceed given the likelihood of a large-scale protest and the details about how to make room 113 work to satisfy the requirements for alternate accommodations so that no one's rights would be violated. At no time was there a discussion about deprivation of rights, constitutional abuse, or anything else that would rise to that level. The chief and Mrs. Egbert both agreed that their counsels, Attorney Lohman and Attorney Puffer, a town attorney, should get together to discuss the legal authorities and actions most prudent, and which can and should be taken by both the school board and the police department to maintain safety and keep the peace while providing the most effective meeting process to allow the school board to get its public meeting work done in relative calm and in an orderly fashion given the threat of disruption. Additionally, Chief Rondo reached out to the Carroll County Attorney, Michaela Andruzzi, who opined that he had the authority to act and arrest for criminal trespass should it come down to that the school board's authority was well established in this instance in terms of their ability to make and follow rules. Acting under the advice of counsel within the spirits of counsel, who too argued that the chief's ability to arrest was well founded in this event for criminal trespass, obstructing government operations, and possibly disorderly conduct if the situation presented, all agreed that this should be a course of last resort. The commission feels that the chief, who was duly authorized to plan and coordinate, did so accordingly. He had a plan of action which was staffed through not just appropriate legal counsels, but the SAU 49 superintendent had consulted with the county attorney, the lead law enforcement officer in the county as well. Our investigation in this matter finds no indication of conspiracy in Chief Rondo's actions at all. Acting under the advice of legal counsel and the county attorney hardly qualifies as conspiracy. Coordination with the SAU 49 superintendent on a meeting process and arranging for alternative accommodations for those not wanting to wear a mask hardly qualifies as a plot. In terms of unconstitutional actions, the Police Commission can find no indication that the chief violated either the New Hampshire Constitution or the U.S. Constitution. Additionally, the chief has acted justly and within reason dealing with a difficult situation. The Commission found additional guidance in RSA 40:7 and 8. Though we recognize these cases apply to town and Board of Selectmen meetings, their guidance is clear. And finally, RSA 105 requires just cause, a legal definition to remove an officer from employment. Without such cause, the Wolfeboro Police Commission sees no reason to remove Chief Rondo for any act that occurred at the school board meeting or which might fall under RSA 105-C:4. On the contrary, the Commission feels as though the school board was justified in its rulemaking. The rule seems reasonable given their state of New Hampshire mandates and the COVID-19 pandemic. We find that the chief was compelled to act in a manner which was fair to all to keep the peace and to effect a smooth and orderly school board meeting, and we certainly think that he did that. Our conclusion: the allegations are completely unfounded, without merit, and baseless. The Commission can find no indications of wrongdoing or crimes committed by Chief Rondo. This internal affairs investigation is closed, unfounded in all aspects. Respectfully submitted, the Wolfeboro Police Commission. Did you get all that, Sherry? Would you like a copy? I'll get it. Okay, I apologize for the lack of brevity, but again, we felt that that was important to be very thorough. Actually, yes, that's a good point.
I would move that we accept and read into the record the document presented by the chair and that part of the minutes.
Oh, that's this.
We did? Oh, I'm sorry.
Disregard, okay.
It was so long ago.
I know. I apologize for my lack of brevity. I already did that.
No brevity.
Okay. Okay. Chief, if you'd like to proceed with the monthly reports?
I would, sir. Thank you very much. I do not have anything for non-public session, so there'll be no need. I take that back. The captain does have an item for non-public. So that will be personnel. Under personnel. We did have a tentative plan to look at the end of quarter financials for third quarter of the town's budget. We'll do that next month, gentlemen, because I know we're going to be pressed for time as we have to vacate this room for the Board of Selectmen. Under, if you're ready, Mr. Chairman, I'll go into the chief's items.
Ready.
Presently, the PD continues to execute the FY21 budget well, and we are showing a slight under expenditure of approximately 2%. This fluctuates each week. This is normal. Throughout the course of the year, there are always minor cost savings that are realized throughout the season, which contribute to these minor amounts of unexpected appropriations. Additionally, we've started in earnest on the construction of the FY22 budget. So far, all is going well, and I'm not expecting any major requisitions or requests for appropriations this year. As you know, we were instructed by the town manager to put in the $17,000 into the operational line pursuant to the vote from the floor at last year's town meeting, in its understanding that the voters voted for the juvenile services officer position last year, as it was discussed on the floor at the town meeting. Presently, the PD is up a modest 4.2%. That increase is due in large part to the police union contract, state retirement costs, which increased approximately 7% this year, and other Series 200 lines, including health insurances. Additionally, though we reduced our gasoline consumption by approximately 200 gallons or so due to our hybrid and Tesla vehicles, gas prices jumped from $1.87 last year's cost to $2.55 this year's forecasted cost. This represents a 67-cent adjustment on the approximately 9,000 or so gallons of fuel we budgeted for each year. This despite the reduction in our fuel consumption due to our hybrid and electric vehicles. As we continue with our purchases of these types of vehicles in the future, we can expect this decrease in fuel consumption to continue as we refine our exact consumption rates. However, please understand that even though we are reducing our fuel consumption, gas prices are increasing at an alarming rate, outpacing any savings that we would normally show. We have presented our FY22 budget to the Board of Selectmen on the evening of 18th October. That went very well. Next, we're scheduled for the budget committee, and that date is to be determined. I will keep the commission informed. Under personnel, it is nice being full strength again, and the officers have been out conducting their work, and all is going well in that regard. Operations, criminal investigations, and prosecutions. In terms of police investigations and operations, the month of September was very busy. Among items of notable interest are the department conducted its year-long investigation into the 5-car crash that occurred on November 20th, 2020. We will be sending in our letters to DMV for further administrative action on the offending driver's license privileges. The department remains involved in a felony-level animal cruelty case, which has been referred to the county attorney's office, and department administration is preparing the budgets and the FY22 grant proposals for this coming year. Under prosecutions, the month of September, too, was very busy in terms of prosecutions. This past month, 30 defendants responded to 35 charges. Of those 30 defendants, 25 were found guilty by plea or trial, 9 were placed on file pending good behavior restitution and other classes or counseling as part of their agreement, and 1 case was dismissed, no trial, as the victim refused to show. The conviction rate this past month is near 100% at 96.57, with $9,406 in fines, restitution, and penalties meted out by the courts. Safety and security matters. We are still realizing a significant increase in traffic volumes because of a variety of reasons. We believe that the population of Wolfeboro has grown a bit beyond the 2020 census, mostly due to folks escaping the major population centers to ride out COVID-19. I dare say that these volumes are at or near all-time highs. I suspect our traffic to our town will continue to be heavy all season, so plan for this in advance and leave earlier for destinations. Lastly, during significant weather events, if you don't have to go out, don't. A vast majority of our crashes occur during periods of inclement weather. Plan for needs ahead of these storms, cancel non-important appointments or events. If possible, please stay safe. Under motor vehicle enforcement, in an effort to mitigate the traffic crashes we realize monthly, we will be continuing a strong proactive approach to motor vehicle enforcement. This can be seen in our monthly briefing slides. We will be conducting aggressive speed reduction patrols all through town, so please, if you're in a habit of speeding, don't. Lastly, we continue to deploy assets and patrols to our identified problem areas. The department is continuing its enhanced speed enforcement operations in the following areas: Lanner Street, Forest Road, Cotton Valley and College Road, Distorted Road, Beach Pond Road, with a focus on the areas between Pine Hill Road, North Line Road, Center Street, North Main Street, 109 East Bay Street, and Sewell Road. The reason for these speed enforcement operations is due to citizen complaints and data collected and analyzed by our radar trailer. We will continue our efforts in these areas until we are sure that the speeds have come down. If you travel these roads, please be mindful of the posted speed limits. Lastly, speeding represents a danger on town roads. All of our roads are posted accurately. Our speed limit signs and radar warning devices are there to keep drivers safe. Training. Detective Emerson attended a two-day class on criminal investigations. Sergeant Strzok attended K-9 training. Dispatch, there was nothing significant to report. In matters of outreach and interest, both the captain and I continue to meet with our concerned citizens regarding a wide range of issues and community topics. I'm still conducting our talk show with Eric Scott of WSR, so please be our guest on this show each Monday at 12 noon, or please call in and ask your questions and join in the discussion. Both the captain and I spoke on Wolfeboro Community TV this past month. Captain Livy continues to be part of the master planning process, the technical review, and joint loss committees. I continue to serve on the Governor's Commission for the Humane and Ethical Treatment of Animals. And lastly, please be our guest on Coffee and Connections with the Chief. And if you're ready, Mr. Chairman, I'll go into the monthly statistics.
Please.
So the first slide, gentlemen, in your slide deck is going to be the incidents year-to-date for 2021 for the month of September. You're going to see that we had an 8.33% reduction from 60 criminal incidents to 55. Again, typical of what we normally see. Arrests for the month of September, 2 were down. We went from 34 to 33, and that is a 2.94% decrease. If you take a look, gentlemen, at the slide, and as we continue to move out toward December, and you'll see that I include all the past month data on that slide, you can quickly do an average, and you can see where we're probably going to average each month, if you want to look at it like this, anywhere between 30 to 35 arrests per month, and that's fairly standard for the Wolfeboro PD, and I just point that out as a point of interest. You gentlemen, of course, have the backup data if you want to drill down into a particular incident in your information packets. The next slide in your deck is collisions year to date. We did realize an 11.76% reduction in traffic crashes from 17 in August to 15 in September. And that's always good anytime we get those numbers down. Again, you have the backup data if you want to drill down into that. In terms of traffic stops, we were up slightly from the month of August from 355 to 406, and that's a 14.36% increase. Also, of those stops, 39 tickets were issued, and that turns into a 9.60% chance of getting a ticket, so still under 10% chance. You gentlemen have all the warnings and the ticket information if you want to look at a specific issue. Under our personnel analysis, you will see all of the arrests and activity year-to-date for all of the officers. This includes also our part-time officers. Just be mindful that some of these officers are working midnight shifts, so some of their activity is going to be somewhat trammeled, as that is a reasonably quiet, though dangerous shift. Moving on to the school resource officer report. The first month of school was extremely busy for SRO Devine. She responded to several incidents in a high school and middle school and wrote 18 incident reports. SRO Devine participated in weekly meetings regarding the Kingswood Next Steps team. The Next Steps team is an intervention and support group for identified at-risk students to increase overall positive behaviors and academic success. Pardon me. SRO Devine had requested a truancy check from the truancy officer. SRO Devine had several DCYF notifications for the high school and middle school regarding truancy, runaway, past tense assault, and mental health evaluations. SRO Devine also assisted other agencies with investigations to include New Hampshire Fish and Game, the Tufton Borough Police Department, and the Ospey Police Department. Several students were found to be in possession of tobacco products. All were first offense offenders, and the school had handled those situations with discipline. And that's really where we want to go with a lot of this, gentlemen. We want the school to get more involved with things that I think are typical school-like problems, and I think that's a good first step. SRO Devine took 2 reports of assault at the school that were unfounded. One subject was criminally trespassed from the school this past month. SRO Devine took a report of a past tense motor vehicle incident involving a hit and run on campus. The accident was caught on the school's camera, and all parties were identified. You gentlemen also have her monthly summary report. It looks like that. For the month of September, moving on to the detective's report. For the month of September, Detective Emerson investigated 2 new cases. The cases below represent all the incidents and arrests for the month of September. The 2 cases were investigated as misdemeanor-level offenses. In addition to Detective Emerson's assigned cases, Detective Emerson also assisted the FBI with locating a female in town. Detective Emerson also assisted Berwick, Maine Police Department with the domestic disturbance arrest they had, which involved a male subject living in Wolfeboro. Detective Emerson worked on arrest warrants for cases that he had been working on from the previous month. Percentage cases closed this month is 67%. Percentage of new cases closed by arrest this month is 0%. Percent of entire caseload closed year-to-date is 71%. That's actually a very good percentage. You gentlemen have his detective summary worksheet. If you have any questions, and subject to the chair, gentlemen, that's all I have.
Okay. Under commission items, 2 things. Our next meeting is scheduled for Wednesday, November 17th. The November meeting originally was scheduled for November 18th at the library. We had a scheduling conflict, so we meet here again in the Great Hall. Again, that's Wednesday, December 17th, 4 p.m., our usual start time. The other thing I'd like to address under the commission items is under the Wolfeboro Police Commission's Rules of Procedure for the Wolfeboro Police Commission, standard operating procedure, adopted back in March of 2017, and in the spirit of RSA 91-A, right to know, I'd like to propose a verbiage change in here Under schedule of meetings, it currently reads, "The agenda for such meeting shall be posted not later than 1 week in advance of the meeting." RSA 91A only stipulates 24 hours is necessary. I think we should make that change to 24 hours. We can,
I move that we accept that.
1 week to 24 hours in advance.
Second it.
Seconded by, all right, so we have a motion by Commissioner O'Brien, seconded by Commissioner Coop. All in favor? Aye. We'll get this corrected. Document that reprinted, and then if we can make sure that Commissioner Coop copy, he currently doesn't. At this time, we have public input. Is there anybody that wishes to speak at this afternoon's meeting? Okay, seeing none. Chief, did you want to go over any budgetary? We do have some time. Are you?
I think we'll do that next month, so that'll give me a little bit more time to get the financials out to the commission so you can review it about a week ahead of time. I wasn't planning on doing it this
Understood,
particular
okay.
month.
This time, then, I would entertain a motion to enter into non-public session under RSA 91-A:3, under personnel.
I make that motion.
Moved by Commissioner Coop and seconded by Commissioner O'Brien. I'll take a roll call vote in this matter. Coop?
Yes.
O'Brien?
Yes.
And Commissioner Wood is a yes. And a momentary recess while we clear the room and a non-public session.